Hello, hello, Coach Tina here. And oh my gosh, it is day 12. And you know what Tony tells us to do when we accomplish things? It's to celebrate. So I am celebrating that I am 12 days into using RPM on a daily basis. I'm pretty proud of myself because, sometimes I get into things and they just kind of disappear on me after a while, and I don't even notice that they're missing. So, like Tony says, where energy goes, where focus goes, energy flows. And for me, that means that I have been focusing on RPM. And so, my honest assessment after almost 2 weeks is let's see, using a life management system is not my strong point. I tend to be disorganized, maybe unfocused, a little bit impatient, and pretty much stuck in my old ways. But I like to complicate things. For instance, today I decided I was going to finally separate myself from Chris's um, account. So some of you may have realized that when we first started, they weren't going to sell separate packages. So Chris and I were told to combine ours. So I made all my categories, then he went in and put his categories in, and we were putting our tasks in, and it got a little complicated. And then by the end of the 3-day event, they were like, no, you can have your own account. So I went, copied all of my stuff over. But I kind of was hanging on to well, maybe someday we'll be able to work together and it'll be good that he can see my categories and so on. And then I realized not really truth. So I went ahead and deleted them from his account, except for one. And the reason why is that when I made that account or that category, the picture that I picked really resonated with me. It was a sunrise over the water. There's a lot of sun in it and a little bit, just a couple of rocks coming out. The cloud formation is beautiful. And when I put my color over the top of it, it just looks magical. I don't know what keywords I used to find that graphic. And today, I spent a lot of time. I'm embarrassed to say how much searching every graphic I could find in Unsplash with the sunset. So I'm kind of thinking that that was a waste of time. I mean, I have another one in the account that I'm using right now. It's a sunrise, it's got the clouds, but it doesn't give me the same feeling. And so I kind of attached myself to the most important outcome that I wanted was to have that graphic. Probably not the best use of my time. But what I have surmised after using it this long is that I can 100% guarantee that if I don't use RPM, it's not going to work for me. So, what I do know is that I am much better at planning using RPM in the mornings. When it comes to the evening, I'm tired. I'm a little bit stressed out because maybe my day didn't go as planned. Whereas in the morning, anything is possible. By evening, I'm like eating my own stuff and going, oh, there I did it again. I have to move this thing over. What's wrong with me? Not good language, by the way, but reality. I will say that now that I'm focusing on outcomes, it is an incredible process. I really appreciate this idea of outcomes and thinking about it more than goals. And I'm really loving that. But it's new. It's like going to a foreign country and you're like in love with all the food, right? But I've been to some foreign countries where I'm like, I don't know what that is. So I'm liking the food. I'm liking what it's doing. So I have to admit, I still want someone to hold my hand. And I do appreciate that Tony AI is available. He's doing his best to help me. I did ask him for something. Actually, I did. I asked him for something and he said, that's not possible in the software. I know what it was. I told him I couldn't find the directions and I needed him to show me something different. And after he'd shown me how to do something, and he said, that just isn't available yet. It was my bad. I thought that was really interesting because he told me the steps. And then when I pointed out to him that it wasn't like that, he was like, oh, sorry, I'm sure they're going to work on that. In fact, he said, why don't you contact support and let them know that that's something that they need to add to the software. So I thought that was a fun circular loop and not just like a big 404. but instead it was ac- um, it's not even an accusation, it's a acknowledgement that there is room for growth and improvement. And so I just want to end. I'm not really showing the software today because you guys don't need to see the screen every single day. Although I say that and then I thought of something I did want to show. So that whole graphic thing that I was telling you guys about, um, in case you don't know how to get the graphics in, it's pretty easy, but just in case, make sure I'm not in the way here. One of my projects doesn't have a graphic, and you can set up separate graphics for your projects. So don't think you have to pick the same one. It will assign the one from the category. But what you can do is just come in here, select. I have one of them that I didn't put a graphic on. So you select it, and then up here it says change cover image. And you can search Unsplash, and you just put a keyword in. So this is for my hour of power. So I'm going to get a clock, and I'm going to search. And what I'm noticing is that because it's just the top part, right? You really want to pick something like, I don't really like the skull on this one. I'm not going to pick it, but it would be a great one because just the clock would show. But I would know that there was something else in there that I didn't appreciate. So I don't want it to be an alarm clock. Time really isn't the point, but maybe I'm going to do this like a timeless hour of power. Let's see if I can get that clock tower up there. Yeah, that works. That works. A kind of historical, good memories. We got this. And so that's what you do. You change your graphic that way. And now if I were to go back to the projects, there it is. All right. I hope you guys have an incredible day, and I will anticipate seeing you again real soon. I'm excited that I'm going to close out my week tomorrow, and I'll record that and let you guys know my thoughts about closing out my second week. All right. Have a real blessed day.